heroes who are doing amazing things to help others. Remember to tune in every Tuesday morning at 10, starting soon.
Do you want to relive the golden days of Stockton? Join Nate Knott on Stockton Alive every first and third Monday at 6 p.m. Tune into thevoiceofstockton.org.
KXVS, The Voice of Stockton Live. The Voice of Stockton at Stone Soup Studio. KXVS.org.
Good morning, Stocktonians, and welcome to another exciting episode of Tales and Tips. I have with me today several panelists who are going to talk about issues with veterans in our community. So our theme today is veterans, and we have representatives from several different organizations that help veterans in our community. And we're also going to be talking about an upcoming exciting veterans event called the Patriots Ball. I'm going to start first to my far right and let Charilyn introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Charilyn Damigo. I'm with Mid-Cal Bluestar Moms. Bluestar Mothers of America was actually founded during World War I, World War II.
Wow.
And moms used to fly the flags in the windows to show that they had a son in service. And of course, now sons and daughters in service. And we're in our 75th year as a national organization. We have a local chapter in Oakdale and hoping to have 2 new chapters in Stockton area and Galt, Lodi, maybe Elk Grove area coming soon. So
Awesome.
Glad to be here.
And Maria Thompkins, I'm glad you're here too. Maria?
Hi, my name is Maria Carmen Thompkins, and I'm a Bluestar mom, and I'm one of the ones that are taking Bluestar Moms for San Joaquin County, and we were just talking about the name, hoping to take it as Bluestar Moms 209 San Joaquin County.
What is
Uniting.
the Bluestar Mom? Tell us what that organization does. Charilyn talked about how wide it is, but what does it do? What does it mean?
Well, what we do is take Bluestar Moms as all the mothers that need to get together.
Mothers of whom?
Mother of the active military.
Yeah, it's anyone who's served or has served in the military.
Yes.
So we're mothers of veterans and currently serving troops as well.
Yes, and we get together and try to give each other support and try to coach each other on how and what to do when our kids are deployed or in need. And it means lots of needs.
Yeah, there's just a wide range of what they go through. I know that at one of my first meetings, I was sitting next to someone whose son was leaving for boot camp, and she was just terrified. Well, my son had just come home from boot camp and was getting ready to go to Iraq. And I was like, what do I do? Wide-eyed. And the lady next to me, her son had just come home from Iraq. And the one next to her had just gotten out of the service and was trying to navigate the VA.
Wow.
And it just became almost a game of musical chairs. You take the next chair, and then you coach the ones who are coming behind you.
All right, and we'll come back. We'll talk more about some of the services and how you help each other. Let's talk about Chad and introduce Chad Reed.
So hello, my name is Chad Reed. I am the Veteran Center Coordinator at University of the Pacific. And I am very fortunate enough to work with all the military and veteran students at the university, so with our campus here in Stockton and then in Sacramento and San Francisco as well.
And Dave Avila?
My name is David Aviles. I'm the Vice President of Disabled American Veterans Charities, San Joaquin County. And we work with veterans and try to service them and act as a referral service to other organizations to make sure the veterans get the services they truly deserve.
And then I also want to give a shout out to Dignity's Alcove. We recently had Julie here, the director for that organization, and that's an organization that helps veterans who, when they come back from service, might be in need. They might need housing, they might need assistance with dealing with drug issues, alcohol issues, trauma related to serving. Let's talk about, in general, veterans in our community. I know that in our county alone there's over 32,000 veterans, which is a huge number of people. And we'll just have some questions that each of you can contribute to. What are the issues that are facing veterans as they come back from active service?
You want to go first?
Sure. Okay. So with with the issues a lot of the veterans who I work with who are just getting out of the service, a lot of it is basic navigation of how to navigate the VA, how to look at the bureaucracy of how to get their benefits. Either it's federal benefits or state benefits. So obviously figuring out how to work through that system is one of the big concerns that I see with the students and the veterans I work with. And so it's not just, it could be for healthcare, it could also be for education. So they go from, having almost everything at their fingertips to having to navigate and do everything on their own without all the oversight and saying, oh, hey, just be here at this time and be there at that time. So that's probably one of the biggest ones in that. I like to make sure we get everyone hooked in with the VA right as soon as possible, so that maybe they don't have any problems at the time, but 5 or 10 years later down the road there may be something that comes up, and for them to be in the system as soon as possible, that's probably the biggest concern that I work with.
For us, with disabled American veterans, most of the veterans, or I should say a lot of the veterans that come home, are disabled in some way, whether it be PTSD, TBI, or a bodily injury. And what happens with that is that pulls them away from the veterans organizations. And we're really lucky to have Chad in the position that he's in, because what we can do as disabled American veterans, we help them in placing them in homes, giving them services that are needed, but we also have to help them navigate through the veterans system, through the bureaucracy. So we have organizations like Chad's organization that works with the colleges and stuff, helps them pursue their education, and also refers them to other organizations like Catholic Charities and so on that work with veterans and get them, again, the services they provide.
And not every veteran that comes home is disabled or needs the same level of assistance, but there's an assimilation that's hard to do. I know when my son came home, his friends from high school, he didn't relate to them anymore. He had, one of his best friends complaining about his mom making him mow the lawn. And, my son was, still concentrating and focused on having lost his 3 best friends in Iraq.
Wow.
And so there was just a huge disconnect, and how to figure out where you fit, because you don't fit where you were when you left.
And that's a really
starting again
point.
In school, getting, my son had never wanted to go to college. All of a sudden, he's trying to navigate a system that he wasn't familiar with, or trying to figure out, how do you look for a job? You didn't have to ever look for a job before. He went down to the recruiter's office and they gave him a job. So there's just a lot of navigation involved.
Well,
it's not a disability.
That's true, but that's always been a concern of mine, because one of the things that they applied as a psychological profile to that is a 3-sided mirror, and the 3-sided mirror is the view of the person before they left, the person as they became in the military, and then when they went to war. So they come back and they're not the same person. And I'm glad you brought that up, because there is a major assimilation process that they have to go through, and that's why it's so important that the services that we're providing addresses those needs for our veterans. And I wish more people, they could take a good lesson from Bluestar moms, because they're so aware of the needs of veterans, because they see them and they feel them when they come home. And more people need to do that, to give them the direction that they need.
And then, Maria, did you also want to talk about Catholic Charities and how they fit into this picture?
And this is where we connect as Bluestar moms and Catholic Charities. So as Bluestar moms, as we are, and then we connect as the Catholic Charities, as a veteran case manager, as I am. We work taking the veteran homeless. A lot of mothers don't understand, or families don't understand as well, that how to help them, how to take care of their loved one when they. And this is where I get very passionate with this. It really hurts me a lot to go see a veteran that is under a bridge or in a shelter home, and they don't know who to talk to or who to confine in, because they've already been pushed back.
Or who to trust.
They don't know who to trust, who to cry to, or who to even talk to about what has happened in the war, or even just military, because they don't have to be in combat. And a lot of people think that they had to be in combat in order to be helped out, and they don't have to. So as case manager with Catholic Charities, we have a lot of services, and we also connect with a lot of other organizations, and I want to name a few of them.
Go ahead.
So we name, I'm going to name here Carl Ross, Ed Stewart, VFW, American Legion Post 249 Manteca, great people. VFW Post 6311, they've been helping a lot of our veterans with the VA disability as well. They do all the paperwork for them. HUD-VASH, they house with Section 8 vouchers. A lot of people don't know about that. VA Health System, they have been referring a lot of the veterans over to us on a daily basis. EDD WorkNet, they help us, like Charilyn was saying, to help them find jobs, but they have to ask for the veteran department. DMV, they have to say they are veterans. They go in there and they're not saying they're veterans. Social Security Disability, the same thing. IRS also has a veteran department. A lot of people don't know that either. Dignity ALCO, substance program, anger management program, that's what they have. Salvation Army, Lodi, they help. They have a temporary housing there too. They have a lot of programs out there. Gleason House, temporary housing. Behavioral Health, they house a lot of our veterans, help them a lot with a lot of mental health problems. All local PD outreach officers, which we want to thank them for their help and service.
Shout out to them.
Yes. They help us a lot in our community. Community Partnership for Families in Tracy Homeless Coalition, and many more that I can't name them all, but I want to say we want to thank them all for all the help that they do for our loved ones, our families and friends out there that are veterans. Can't express enough, but we all work together. We cannot do it ourselves. And anyone that's out there that can help us, please give us a call. And we need more military moms to come join Bluestar Moms.
Definitely. And I want to come back to Chad in just a minute. I'm going to ask Dave, you mentioned two prominent illnesses or issues that can afflict veterans from service, and I want you to talk more about them and talk about the suicide rate for veterans and why it's so important that veterans make sure that they get the help that they need. You mentioned TBI and PTSD.
Well, yeah, because PTSD is something that stays with a veteran. You know, when he suffers a traumatic experience, whether it be again in war or just a traumatic experience through the expression of being in the military itself, something can happen that changes the view and the mind of a veteran, and the traumatic experience stays with him forever. A lot of people said, "Oh, get over it." You don't get over it. You can put it on a shelf, you can push it to the side, but it's always going to be there, and there's always going to be a trigger that brings that back. And that's the suffering that happens with veterans. But it also affects their moms and the rest of their family, because that traumatic experience is going to change who that person was before he left. And the parents, the brother, the sister, the relatives are going to say something's different about him. We don't know quite what it quite is, and there's a major difference. And then TBI, traumatic brain injury. I mean, it's far beyond getting. You ever see a fighter get hit and he goes into a cloud and he can never come back, or he has short-term memory loss, and you know he's a good person, but he just can't hold that thought, or he just can't communicate or function on a regular basis. And a lot of our brothers and sisters coming back from the military are suffering, and we have to look at it, and we have to be aware of it, and we have to be there to help them to function, to provide the services that these organizations, these 501c3s, and that are doing for the veterans, because they need that help. That lack of that help is what contributes to their homelessness, to their disassociation with society, and causes them a lot of dysfunction. And then people that don't understand tend to either label them, brand them, criticize them, and all the negative things that would happen. Instead, they need to embrace them, bring them into the fold, and try to understand those brothers and sisters wrote a check to give their lives for this country, and they deserve the care that's
deserve
necessary
support
when
people there that will help you
and care.
And the support line is 1-800-273-8255. Once again, that's 1-800-273-8255. And then Charilyn wanted to add something.
Right, and I just wanted to kind of tag on a little bit earlier with what Maria was saying. You know, not every veteran comes back and is suicidal or has, you know, major issues, is going to be homeless. Obviously, many of our veterans come home and they're functioning and they're doing well and they're contributing to, you know, society, but they all have different issues that they're facing, and the problem comes in when they try to handle it on their own. You know, a veteran, a soldier, a Marine is not trained to discuss their problems. You know, they go through boot camp with pneumonia.
Yeah.
You don't go running to somebody and say, I'm having some bad dreams at night, or I cry myself to sleep every night. And so they're self-medicating. They're turning to drugs and alcohol, and then that pushes their family away. Or if they're suicidal, they tend to push their loved ones away. And that's why the families aren't able to help, or the families have done so much that they're worn out. And that's why it's such a great partnership with the other 501c3s and the other nonprofits that can come in and provide the services. Having the colleges set up veteran services to help them navigate specifically. I know my son benefited a lot just from being able to have a single person that he could walk into, and didn't matter what question he had about the college or what classes he needed to sign up, there was one person that kind of helped him navigate that. And so I'm loving that Chad's here today. And
let's go back to Chad, and that's a great tune in, because Chad, I'd like to hear from you about what percentage of students are veterans, and I also want you to talk about your counterpart at Delta as well.
Definitely. So so going back, I'll maybe explain a little bit better what we do. So we interact with veterans or military students. So I say military students, that means persons who are active duty still or dependent. So we've got a lot of students who use their parents' VA benefits, and so they still fall under our umbrella because A, they're using VA benefits, and B, the parents are pretty involved and they want to know, and they have a military connection, so we can talk there too. And so our job is to, you know, initially interact with them when they're prospective students. So, you know, it could be, hey, I'm getting out of the Marines in 2 months, what do I do? And, okay, from then it's going to be, all right, we got to do a lot of things. Or it could be, hey, I'm 65 years old, I was in Vietnam, I was a Marine Corps recon, and I want to go back into school.
Wow.
And so we've got students like that as well.
Wonderful.
And so there's a big age difference. And
I didn't realize that. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, so it's definitely, in our school we've grown almost 325% since 2009 in military and veteran students, and majority of all our students are going to be on the Stockton campus, with more and more coming out to this San Francisco and Sacramento because there's more VA benefits available.
Wonderful. And what percentage of the overall student body would you say that veterans make up?
2%.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a really small percentage. It's growing.
But that's still a lot of students.
Yeah, I think overall, I mean, we've got about roughly maybe 7,000 or so overall.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of students.
Yeah. And so I mean the other thing,
a lot of people to help.
Yeah, definitely. And so what we focus on is getting them to class as smoothly as possible, working out with people working with veterans who have no idea about Stockton. They just looked at a program and they're like, all right, this program looks really great. What do I do? How do I get there? And telling them the whole process from moving, and it could be they have a family. They could have, a lot of the times, a lot of the veterans are sacrificing. That's what this is. Going to college is a sacrifice if you're a veteran, because you could be working in the real world, making making money rather than, sacrificing this time. So it's always reassuring them of that it is a sacrifice. And then the other piece, which is really important, which goes a lot with what we're talking about, is a lot of these veterans are amazing individuals that are going to get out, they're going to get this degree, and they're going to make whatever company or organization they work with next, they're just going to make it so much better.
Awesome.
So that's what I do.
They have a lot to contribute.
Oh yeah, big time. So it's connecting them with our alumni and the different organizations and businesses, and hopefully they stick around Stockton and make Stockton a better place too. It's, so that's our goal.
And then Delta campus.
Oh, that's right. So Delta, we've got a really close connection with Delta. So John Irvin is he's my counterpart there at Delta. and they've got a humongous military and veteran student population, and so it's a primary feeder school to our school as well. So we work really closely. Yeah, so we work. Majority of our transfers are going to come from Delta. So I went to Delta, and then I transferred over to UOP, and I ended up loving it so much I stuck around.
Yeah. But I see you have your pin, your orange
that's
pin.
That's it. Yeah. So we work really closely, and there's just, the other thing too is it helps them out to see, helps those students to see, hey, this is possible. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. It takes 2 years, and then I'll be able to go to this school, and then that's part of it. It's just that social network. A lot of it is just having that network of individuals, just being able to talk to each other and say, hey, what'd you do? What chapter did you use? What's your program? Are you thinking, what degree are you looking at? And it's just having that connection available.
Awesome.
Which has been really good.
And Maria, do you also guide some of the veterans to go back to school? Do you work with Delta and UOP?
So part of our case management is guiding them case managing, giving them the resources. So we do work closely with Chad, and we refer back and forth. One is if they want to go to college or if they want to go to the university, are they using voc rehab or are they using the GI Bill? And we explain to them, because some of them don't even know that they can use voc rehab. They think that if they don't have a GI Bill, Montgomery Bill, they're done. So we extend.
So these are financial support programs that you're talking about for going back to school.
Right, because it's very important for them to understand that there's other ways and means for them to get their VA benefits.
Awesome. And education is always valuable. To me, every dollar spent in education, you get out an exponential benefit, and not only to the person but to our community. I think Chad's point was really important, that even though someone may have started out working in the military, they can take skills there plus additional education, and they can manage a huge company or have ideas of how to transform things in our society. And there's an important space for veterans, an important role in our society in the workforce. Dave, did you want to add on to that and talk about veterans in the workforce?
No, not really. They've covered it pretty well. I'm just very proud to have been able to work with them. Vietnam vets, we're getting up there and stuff. And we're so happy that we have leaders in our community like Maria and Chad and the Bluestar moms for what they're doing and working with everybody. It's a time we're starting to pass the baton. And we just want to be there and be supportive and help them, accomplish the things that they set out to do. They set some high goals. They've contributed tremendously to the community, and you can see it. Stockton is moving forward in the surrounding area, and I'm very proud to be a Stocktonian. I've seen what they've done. I've seen what they've accomplished, and I'm just glad to be here and be able to support what they're doing.
Well, and let's go back, because you mentioned that you are a Vietnam veteran, and you've been here before when we talked about the moving Vietnam Veterans Wall. And something that you and I have talked a lot about is how that experience for our community was very unifying for a lot of the different veteran organizations. And from there, we are hoping to do some other projects. We have the Patriots Ball, which we'll talk about in a little bit. You and I have discussed having a veterans museum in our community, but just having the organizations work together is just phenomenal. And I'd like you to comment on that.
Yeah, well, it's been a wonderful experience. When I look at it as, the brothers and sisters that were killed in Vietnam are still contributing to our community just by the presence of the wall and the inspiration that the wall gives to us, and the understanding that it brings to a community that these are our brothers and sisters that made the sacrifice so we could live the lives that we're living. And by bringing all these organizations together during the time that the wall was here, we formed a unity. We kind of really started to meld together as a community of veterans, and we're trying to keep that melding process going by bringing these organizations together, by supporting each other, by bringing awareness to the plight of veterans.
And there's a group organization now. Do you want to talk about that was formed?
Oh yeah, this is a smaller organization. We formed the Unified Veterans Council of Stockton, which brought together the various posts the 501c3s, the colleges, and to really focus on what Stockton needs, and maybe develop a model that we can bring to other people, but to really try to understand the needs in a smaller community, so maybe we can expand that knowledge and that experience to other communities around San Joaquin County and also around the United States. And Chad and Maria are both involved in that. And again, I am so proud of these people for what they're doing in our community and the way they're taking this step up and just, taking a leadership role. Because taking a leadership role is not easy.
No.
Because people look to you. Once you take that role, and you too, Julie, Damron.
Yeah, Joe, you too.
We know, you guys are stepping up and you're becoming these really, really role models, and the way you're mentoring people to be part of our community. Now, I'm very proud to be part of that.
I just want to give a shout out to you, Dave, and to the other Vietnam veterans. You guys really took it hard when you came home. You did not get the thanks and the appreciation that you deserved. And you had, no choice in what you did, most of you. And you could very easily have become bitter and written off, whatever, and instead you've just made the commitment to helping our younger vets. And as a mom, I know that I appreciate the older vets that have reached out to my son to help coach and mentor him and help him avoid some of the pitfalls that you guys went through. And I want to just give you a personal thanks for what you've done. Welcome home.
Yes. Very nice.
Can I tag on that too?
Please,
okay.
go ahead.
So that's pretty much, overall, if it wasn't for the Vietnam veterans and for the, the fact that they had such a bad situation to come home to, that we wouldn't be in this, we as a, Iraq and Afghanistan veterans wouldn't be in the situation where we have all these different benefits and we have all this support systems and everyone's, more appreciative of what's going on. So that's just been, and the other thing with that coincides, so the more, we've got a, University Pacific has a student veteran organization, and they were able to go to the Vietnam Wall and to, spend a good chunk of time reading off the list of names that just, and doing that helps to bring together that generation of veterans, because it seems not all about Iraq and Afghanistan. There's going to be another generation after them, and so it's looking at the whole past and present, future, and that's been pretty helpful, I think, in bringing younger generations together to say, hey, it's not all just about us. We've got other people we can talk to and people we need to start thinking about in the future too.
We were so privileged to have that wall come to visit, and it's the second time that it's come to Stockton. I just want to give a shout out to Linda Vasquez and Tino Adami, who worked for many, many years to get the wall to come back here. So we want to make sure we thank them for that. And I think that was so important for our community in so many ways. I'm going to go back to Maria because I know you looked like you wanted to make a comment.
No, I just want to say thank you. Tino did do a lot with the Vietnam Wall. My kids got to help with the Vietnam Wall, and I was never so happier to see them helping and to be able to learn about the Vietnam Wall. I myself learned, and just to see all the Vietnam veterans putting up the wall themselves, such a hard thing to do for them, I could not imagine their pain during the time and what they were going through. Some of them were having a hard time just to walk feet away from the wall. I mean, it was hard. I mean, I was feeling pain just watching them doing it. It's like Dave here, and Tino and Richard and many other of them that were out there, Joe. I mean, I was watching how they were just out there in the park, and I think they still can't get over it. Every time I talk to them, it's like there's a certain pain level in them, and now they're going through the Agent Orange pain that people don't talk about. Some people forget that they're still suffering on a day-to-day basis, and their families trying to take care of them.
Well, and that's why it's so important that there's so many organizations, and I love that there's the unification, and because I think that together we can definitely do more. and I was fortunate to participate in the construction of the wall when it was here. And then Dave also gave me the honor of one of the ceremonies, carrying the wreath with his wife, one of the wreaths. And the fact that there was so much pageantry and honor and ceremony and respect with the wall here was just tremendous. And just to see people coming together, and I'm sure for some people it gave a sense of closure. And yes, I also feel for others it was heart-wrenching, but the opportunity to have that here in Stockton for our community, we are so fortunate.
It would be too easy to forget. You know, yesterday was the anniversary of the Beirut bombing. How many people even remember that, you know, we lost lives that day in the embassy?
That's a very good point.
It takes all of us working together to remember the sacrifices, to appreciate, you know, where we are today. It doesn't matter what your politics are.
It doesn't matter what your
appreciate
politics.
those who have fought for us and they deserve our respect and our thanks.
It transcends politics. It's about serving your country, and as Dave mentioned before, the people that were willing to write a check in blood with their lives to fight for us to have freedom, and that our freedom is not free.
And those Gold Star families, the ones who have lost their sons and daughters in the service of their country, need our support as well, and our continued remembrance.
Well, let's move to something positive.
I do want to say something.
Go ahead.
On Gold Stars, I understand. We have Gold Star families, but we also have veterans that, or even those military that commit suicide. And they do it during their service. And I also want to say we need to appreciate them too.
Yes.
Because we don't know what they've been through or what they went through. And a lot of people don't appreciate those families too.
Yes.
And that's another story.
Let's give that phone number again, too, in case anyone is right now in need. It's 1-800-273-8255. And I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted the number available.
But those families also that lost their loved ones when they were out in, you know, in active service, and they committed suicide, they need support as well.
Yes.
So I want to make sure that we don't forget them as well.
And so for those people who have family members that have committed suicide, where can they reach out to for help?
I would start with the suicide hotline. That's not just for, there's veteran service officers, there's vet centers, there's a number of places, and any one of the organizations that work with veterans, they could reach out to somebody, and then
so
that's how we all work together to refer each other, make sure that nobody gets dropped in the cracks.
They could also call Bluestar Moms. We are on a website, so they can call us.
What's your phone number?
Mid-Cal.
Our Mid-Cal phone number is 209-336-3221.
And what about Catholic Charities?
209-444-5900. And they could call Bluestar Moms 209-405-4782.
And Chad, how does someone reach you?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I'm in 209-932-3237, and just, you know, goes along with the idea that not just the veteran is the one who served, but their families. So just, you know, there's actually a lot more support coming out nationally, regionally, all the way down to locally for family members, because there is a big chunk of family members, you know, especially if a veteran gets out and they could be, you know, from, you know, extreme with amputation or whatever it is, and they have, you know, that life is going to change for the whole family. So it's not just going to be the veteran, it's going to be the veteran's immediate family and the extended family. So there's more and more resources out there. Just call one of our organizations and we will connect you.
What I would say also is for the brothers and sisters, again, that serve, if you have that on your mind, call your brother and your sister. Call another veteran. Talk to them. There's an understanding that veterans have about each other that a lot of people don't understand. God bless them. But what I found through experience is it's really good when you talk to another veteran, somebody that you can share that brother and sister with, someone that understands, somebody that really you know understands. And one of the things for veterans that have considered taking their own lives, it's hard to express that to their mom, to to their dad, to a relative, and even someone outside. But to express it to a fellow veteran may be a little easier. That's not, please, if you have that on your mind, these wonderful people have given you an outlet. Talk to someone. But if you need a first line and you want to talk to someone quickly, call a friend. It only takes a second to make that mistake. It can happen so quickly. A bad decision, a wrong decision, wrong time, wrong place.
All right, let's move on to the Patriots Ball. I'm going to start with you because that was your vision.
Okay.
Stephanie's actually the architect.
Yes.
Well, the Patriots Ball was created to continue the bringing together of all the groups. And, you know, we live so much in our history that we don't celebrate what our destiny is. And the Patriots Ball was created to bring everyone together to understand our history and to celebrate what we're going to be doing in the future, and to honor all the organizations and say thank you for what they do, and to celebrate rather than mourn, and to thank, and to make everybody bring some goodness to what we're doing without mourning and living in history. Bring some goodness to what we're doing and recognition for what we're going to be doing in the future.
All right, and I'm going to move on to Chad. Tell us where and when the Patriots Ball is going to be and some of the activities.
Okay, so it's going to be the premier Stockton event of all time. Just so everyone knows, it's going to be at the DeRosa University Center Ballroom on November 3rd, Friday.
Which is at UOP, by the way.
University, yep, that's right, UOP. And so it's going to be 5:30, kicks off. We're going to have a really nice procession, bringing in the colors, followed by actual live singing. I think the Portsmen are going to be there. Also going to be a specialty guest. I don't think, should we release the guest star singer yet?
Not yet.
Yeah, okay.
That's a surprise. You have to come to see that surprise. Our soloist.
Oh yeah, you don't want to miss it. It's going to be, and so, but that's going to be, you know, just the beginning. It's going to go into a really nice, elegant dinner, along with...
It's black tie and tuxedo, by the way.
Oh yeah, black tie tuxedo. Valet service. So if you do come, please utilize our valet service. There will be valet service to use there. And it's going to be, you know, a really nice dinner. We're going to actually go give some nice awards for some local patriots who've done a lot, more than a lot.
Can I?
Yes, please.
The awards that we came up with as committee members, we came up with the Veterans Leadership Award, the Patriots Award to a civilian, the Patriots Award to military, and the Patriots Award to a Gold Star family. And the committee has been wonderful. I mean, we have the A-team working on this.
Yes, and we want to thank our chairman that is here present.
Oh, that's right. Our chairperson,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Julie Damron.
You've done an amazing job.
Amazing job. Amazing
Seriously.
She keeps us on our toes.
And I had the honor of working with the A-team. I would like to share that there are so many elegancies that we have incorporated into this event. The bar and appetizers are paid for. The dinner is served, and it's a duet of chicken and steak. There's an elegant dessert. We have dancing. We have a touch of magic. And so for your fee of $100, you are getting a lot. And we do have a silent auction and a live auction with our auctioneer, Tom Patty. And it's going to be an amazing, amazing premier event. And I'm just excited to be a part of this because it's helping to honor the veterans in our community.
And we also offer sponsorship tables with packages. So we have
everybody's invited.
You don't have to be a veteran.
You don't have to be a veteran. Anybody from any part of the community, if they'd like to go, all they have to do is buy a ticket. And it's an elegant
to get a
event.
ticket?
Actually, they can call Disabled American Veterans Charities
at 209-955-1423.
Awesome.
And I'm coming over from Stanislaus County. I'm crashing your party.
All right.
Well, that's what
we might want to copy this even. We're not sure how we're going to do
we have to have Bluestar moms here.
We're working to try to establish a chapter in your area, in the Stockton area.
Awesome.
Because, we had some interest in starting a Bluestar Moms chapter over in Stanislaus County, and we realized there was nothing in Tuolumne or San Joaquin County that actually reached out and helped meet the needs of moms and families.
We need Bluestar
moms
here.
All of a sudden, Maria's saying, "Hey, help us start over here too." And we're not in competition; we're working together.
No, it's not a competition. It's about being able to give support to more people where the support is needed. And our county has such a high population of veterans, so the need is definitely here.
So I'm very honored to be invited and to come crash your party. I can't wait.
We're so happy to have you.
I'm so excited.
When I look back on my life, and I wish that my mom had that kind of support, that my wife had that kind of support. You know what I mean? To bring the mothers and the wives together, and then the veterans, and to know you have somebody that's so close to you that's trying to understand what's going on with that. I think it's a wonderful thing. I'm so glad they're here.
And it's exciting to me also because, Dave, you shared your vision for this event with me, I think 6 months or so ago. And in planning this event, going to the University of the Pacific campus and just seeing the gorgeous facility at DeRosa and the stairway and the look in your eyes when you saw that, and it's all just coming together. And this is a win-win for veterans in our community. And the more that we can do to help them, the better. They deserve it. They wrote that check for us, and they deserve it.
And I really want to thank, Lynn King, who embraced this event. Chad introduced me to Lynn, and Lynn kind of, mentored me on how these things should be done. I met him a couple of times, and then he worked with Chad, and Chad was also giving me direction. I mean, there's a lot of kudos to go around.
Yes, and especially Chad.
Yeah.
Chad has been tremendous with helping to work out the logistics for this event, and it's been a huge effort by everyone on our committee, but definitely I really appreciate. I want to give a shout out to Chad because in addition to what you do for the university already, you've been so pivotal in getting all the pieces to fit together to make this event happen.
Thank you. It's really teamwork, though, makes the dream work, of course.
That's good. That's good.
All right.
And for those of you in the community that want to get involved in these things, Bluestar Moms, Catholic Charities, all these 501c3
Disabled American Veterans.
Disabled American Veterans, get involved. You want to make a difference? Don't sit on your couch and criticize.
Carl Ross Post, I'm an auxiliary member, and it's important. It's important to help those who have been willing to make the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. Let's just give the information one more time for anyone else that wants to come out. Tickets are $100. They can call
209-955-1423.
And the event is where and when?
It is at DeRosa University Center, Ballroom at University of the Pacific on November 3rd.
Friday,
November 3rd, 5:30 p.m.
Anything else anyone wants to add about the Patriots Ball? We're going to have a great time. It'll be a wonderful party celebrating our veterans.
Yes, checks are payable to DAV Charities.
And sponsorships are still available.
Yes.
I think one tiny so for me, what makes this event so, really exciting too is that it's just the first. So it's just the beginning. So this is going to be, the inaugural. This is going to be something each year. It's going to bring the community, specifically veterans, but who knows? It could, we can go beyond. Maybe we'll include first responder. We'll go, who knows? It'll just catch on more and more and more.
Keep growing each year, and we have a commemorative surprise at the event. I don't want to give away what that is. But it's amazing. Lots of surprises that we haven't revealed. It's going to be a wonderful event. Come out, support your local veterans, and remember that this is a donation to help veterans in our community, but you are getting a lot for the money that you spend for a ticket or a sponsorship.
Yes, and we're looking for our sheriffs, our police officers,
our
fire department. Yes. We are inviting you all to come and join us too. It's not just veterans. Please join us.
All right, and with that, I really would like to thank all of you for coming out. I feel like this was a really important show for our viewers and our listeners. And for anyone out there, again, that's a veteran that needs help, please contact the suicide hotline. It's 1-800-273-8255. And we celebrate you in our community. The veterans in our community are very important, and there are people that care about you. And I'm signing off. Let's make it a great day.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Julie.
you.
I am the voice of Stockton. You are the voice of Stockton. We are the voice of Stockton. Together, we celebrate our community. Have a great day.
You too.